us in saying a school prayer. O God, we ask for your blessing upon this our school and for your guidance in all that we do. Open our hearts and challenge our minds that we may grow through your love and wisdom. We give thanks for our many gifts and talents and for the many people who touch our lives. Help us to be worthy of your grace through the inspiration of your loving presence. Amen.
Right, grade 12, so I'm sure you realize that these steps are not quite as comfortable. Welcome to everybody, and a special welcome to our Matrics of 2021, and of course to all of your parents who managed to come today. A very special welcome to our head, Mrs. Hillen, and one of the grade 0 teachers of this group, Mrs. Bain. Now please ask you to give those people a round of applause. Unfortunately, we were told at 8 o'clock last night that COVID restrictions changed. It was way too late. So our grade 0 parents are going to, this is being videoed, and we will post it on YouTube, and I will send the link to Mr. Kenyon that he can distribute it, and you are going to be the first grade that has this for him. So I'm quite fortunate for that. So we just have parents and some of our staff in the hall today. But we're delighted that this assembly was able to take place. As I said, originally we had planned to have it on the top field, and Mr. Kenyon said to me this morning, he originally said, why aren't you doing it on the top field? I said, because it's going to rain. I say nothing more to it. I would just like for the grade 0s to get some of their wriggles out. Grade 0s, I know your moms and dads aren't here, but can you please look at the video camera and can you wave to your moms and dads? Thank you, boys and girls. This annual assembly has become a tradition at Beaulieu Prep for many years, and there are some parents in this hall who are here for the second and maybe some for the third time. I hope that you had some tissues at hand when the children started to walk down the hall, because that for me is that moment of watching the shortest children about to start their formal schooling walking with the tallest children who are about to end their formal schooling. Grade 12s, you're nearly there. Could I please ask the Vashini to come forward? The Vashani, sorry. Vashani.
The grade 0s will recite a military rhyme which has been adapted for South Africa called Hey Diddle Dimber. Grade 0s, please stand.
Watch Tessa grade 0s. One of the highlights in our assemblies each week is the announcement of the house points. Since this group of matrics left Beaulieu Prep, we've added a third house. So we very kindly had 3 girls who offered to recite the house points, and I would like to call on them to come up now, please.
One house has 72 points. One house receives 64 points. And the third house receives 68 points. This week, winning by 4 points is... This week's winner is Pegasus!
Thank you, girls. The grade 0s haven't been allocated houses yet because we've moved them out of doing our inter-house athletics. And that's why they didn't shine, because they didn't have that experience. They looked a little bit startled, that's
from going on cricket tours and playing cricket in the hallways at 2 in the morning and getting shouted at by the coach, to getting demerits for looking out the window. Still to this day, I don't know where that went wrong, and much more memories that shouldn't probably say. But the memories here of the end of this grade are for a lifetime. Thank you.
Prep school is the time of your life that shapes you, and Beaulieu Prep definitely did just that. The weird and wonderful combination of teachers that I had from grade 0 to 7 honestly made my 8 years on these school grounds the best I could have asked for. I don't even know where to begin from the memories of the school. Maybe the headmistress, Mrs. Hillen. I know that I don't speak for myself when I say, when I was a kid, I thought that Mrs. Hillen slept in her high heels, her perfectly and her makeup, and seeing her in her slippers and her gown when the teacher stepped out was the shock of my life, even though her morning face is still as perfect as always. I'll never forget trying to differentiate between flapstick and flapstick in my St. Redeemer's Hillen class, because it was the end of the world if you got the two confused. At the college, we were lucky enough to have a bell. However, here at the prep, the teachers work on the good old analog clock. At least, some of them tried to. Some of them didn't get it right, like Mrs. Sunnelly. She would let us out at least 10 or 15 minutes late to our next lesson. And if it was break or cake and candy, you would sit and silently let the tears roll down as you finished your lesson. Mrs. Tomiga's threats to lather you in peanut butter and bite you seem funny when I say it now. But when I was 7 years old, I thought she was being dead serious. So I dared not draw grass at the bottom of each of my pages. Hearing the sweet tweets of Leopold's bird, Boo Boo, made her Afrikaans lessons the most unique I've ever had. And cleaning Mr. Bryson's back room in our math lessons when we first came to the school are memories that I'll cherish forever. I'll say with my chest that the tuck shop at the school has the best food ever. So when you saw that the special was chocolate chip cookies, you would sprint down to the tuck shop, only to see that the line was all the way up the stairs, and there is your break gone. Speaking about break, I think I can speak for everyone when I say watching or playing the four-square tournaments between Luca, Connor, Dylan, and Fuzzy were the most insanely things of the day. I swear those boys thought that they were invincible, especially when they jumped off the balcony like they were Superman. Nothing will be Pegasus and Unicorn rivalry, and I think we all know that Unicorn's best. The first 8 years of my schooling career were made the absolute best at Beaulieu Prep, and I can't thank every single teacher enough for the impact that they made on us. Without all of you, we wouldn't be who we are today, and Beaulieu Prep will always be in our hearts. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Julian and Lizzie. Yeah, Tara, can I ask you to come forward, please?
The Great Wolves will now say a poem about the biggest African animal, an elephant. Great Wolves, please stand.
not yours. Say you're sorry when you hurt someone. Wash your hands before you eat. Flush. Warm cookies and cold milk are good for you. Live a balanced life. Learn some and think some and draw and paint and sing and dance and play and work some every day. Take a nap every afternoon. And when you go out into the world, watch out for traffic, hold hands and stick together. Grade 12s, I hope you remember those words because those are your life lessons that you learned from grade 1. I now have 2 messages of staff members that were unable to be here. This was at a fairly unilateral decision amongst the Matrics of people they would like to have at this assembly. They've sent me voice notes, one from England and one from New Zealand. I hope you can hear them clearly. I did test it earlier.
Matrics grade notes of 2021 and to the Beaulieu Preparatory community. I wish I could be there with you all today, but unfortunately I am unable to. It's amazing how quickly time flies. It feels like just the other day that we were all in class or on the sports field together. I hope you have as fond memories of your time at Beaulieu Preparatory School as I do. As life is about grabbing opportunities and making the most of your situation, I do hope that you have taken the opportunities offered to you at your senior schools and made some lifelong friends. I have no doubt that you will continue to prepare well for your finals in the next couple of weeks, as the best view is always after the hardest climb. It's these times that you demonstrate grit, show perseverance, and make the opportunities for yourself. Take time for you so that you can achieve your own personal goals. I wish you everything of the best and hope you enjoy the next chapters of your life, whether it be a gap year, university, college, or work experience. You have time, so create your own path and broaden your horizons. I hope our paths do cross again one day. Hambagachle, go well, Mr. B.
That is from Stephen Beaver, who's now teaching in England. The second one comes from New Zealand.
Good morning, Mrs. Hillen, staff, parents, students, grade noughts, all of whom don't know who is speaking, but most importantly, the grade 7 group of 2016 and the Matric group of 2021. If I remember these assemblies correctly, we probably have our Matrics in their uniforms decorated with scrolls, badges and braiding sitting on the stage. Our parents proudly looking on, most likely with tears starting to well up in their eyes as the assembly progresses. And our grade nought sitting on the floor, close to the front of the hall. I speak to you, leave this message in Auckland, New Zealand, where I've been for the last 3 years, where I continue to teach. Disappointed not to be there with all of you because the grade nought Matric assembly always left such positive memories in my mind and heart, seeing how the students I once taught had grown up into young adults with their futures right in front of them. No doubt you're all feeling a bit nervous about exams coming up, but I'm absolutely sure that you have put all the preparation in and you will continue to do so as the exams come closer. Beaulieu Prep always left a fantastic motto in my mind and heart, and that was Querite Astra, reach for the stars. I'm absolutely certain that all of you will be continuing to do that. It's an apt motto because you never quite reach the stars, do you? So continue to strive for them, strive for excellence, and I'm sure that you will attain it. If any of you would like to get into contact with me and maybe share how you've been doing and what you have in store for the future, perhaps you need a couch to crash on here in New Zealand, let me know. I need my details from Mrs. Newman or Miss Burry. Before I leave you, I want to leave you with a quote by T.S. Eliot. He said, "Only those who will risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go." So take risks, keep striving for greatness. I'm absolutely sure you will all succeed. Phil, I'll chat to you soon. See ya, Mr. Farrell.
I hope you enjoyed that, Rex.
The Great Lords will recite a poem written by A.A. Milne called Now I'm Six. Great Lords, please stand.
Mrs. Hill, my time here can be summed up in a few words. Thank you. Thank you for the memories. Thank you for my time. If I want to thank you for everything, it would be here for too long. So I just want to leave with a few thank yous. Thank you for being here every day. Thank you for always walking around the school with a smile, and thank you for making all the students laugh every time we interact with you. Thank you.
I just want to say thank you for the constant support from Matric, or from Beaulieu to Matric. I think it's been constantly there, and I think all the Matrics are really grateful for that. And I think I just want to say thank you for this opportunity. I know it's been hard with COVID, but yeah, it's been very special. So thank you.
Mrs. Hill, could I invite you to say a few words? I don't know if you want to use this microphone. Can you hear me? I hope that does the trick, does it?
Yes.
I am always awed when I am at a grade Lord Matric assembly. And of course, this one is quite different to every other one we've ever had. For obvious reasons, I'm not going to go into those. But when I see a group of grade Lord children sitting alongside a group of matrics, I just cannot believe the transformation, and it makes visual for me the journey that the children undergo. What a pleasure it is to have our grade Lords in this assembly this morning. Usually they join us in assemblies in the third term so they can get used to cheering and points and all sorts of activity. But of course we haven't been able to do that. So this is really their very first assembly, and I think they've been wonderful. Well done, grade Lords. I can also clearly remember many of the children who are sitting on our left this morning in their little red t-shirts and green shorts in this very position some 13 years ago. It's amazing to think of you as grade Lord children now, looking at you so beautifully grown, so accomplished, so eloquent, and so capable.
thinking about the memories that I have of this group, and there are many, of you as a group and of you as individuals. You were a wonderful group, you still are a wonderful group, and you had many strengths. I wonder if you remember that our school turned 20 in your grade 7 year, and we commissioned the mosaic in the junior quad, and we named the buildings after our 6 founders that year. So that kind of puts it in the historical context for me. The nursery school buildings were also completed in 2016 after standing for 4 years, half built, you remember that? And we finally got to finish those buildings, and of course the nursery school opened on our property in the following year. Do you remember that you raised almost 50,000 rand in your entrepreneurship project? Do you remember that? Unbelievable. Do you remember the main characters in the junior play called A Whole New World? Do you remember being the main characters in that play? I remember you, and I remember how wonderful you were with the junior children that you were leading in that year. You were also very strong academically. You shot the lights out at the international benchmark tests in that year. We wrote English, we wrote maths, and we wrote science, and this group scored well above the ISASA cohort and well above the international cohort too in that set of exams. So that bodes well for the upcoming exams that you're about to take. You were also fabulously strong in a variety of sports. I remember that there were 4 teams that were unbeaten in the league in the grade 7 year. The Open A boys tennis side, the Open A and Open B cricket sides, the Open A netball side was also unbeaten, and that year they were 5th in the district. We had a district of 42 schools playing netball, and you guys were placed 5th in that in the district playoffs. I remember also that softball was particularly strong, but as I recall, you lost only 1 game, so you weren't unbeaten, but you were really up there. Do you remember that we started the night hockey series at the college Astro? And do you remember that the girls won silver and the boys won gold in our very first tournament? So we started with a bang. Do you remember that we started 7th rugby that year? Do you remember that? I'm sure the mums are still remembering that. And we went on to win 4 out of our 6 games that year, so we made a wonderful start. The Open A boys soccer team won gold at the Greyston Festival that year. The Equestrian League, of course, we rode for Central Gauteng, and we won the league again for the 14th consecutive time. Do you remember that? And do you remember that 13 of our riders went on to ride for Gauteng at the Nationals that year? If they'd had a Nationals trophy, which they didn't then, I'm sure we would have brought that home. Do you remember your leavers dinner? In this very hall, the theme was Dr. Zeus, and we talked about the places you'd go and the mountains you'd climb, and think about all the places you'd be and all the mountains mountains you're going to climb. There are so many memories of you, all wonderful, all happy. I think of you often. When I think of individuals in this group, I can pick out something that each of you has done that is a memory for me. I remember Michaela and Jen on horseback. I remember Sinead and Chloe in the swimming pool. I remember Maddie as the princess in the concert. I remember Tseko singing. And I remember the way that she played softball. I remember Vishani on the hockey astro. I remember Sydney burning up the track. I remember Nick and his development cricket team. I remember the cricket teams in action and the netball teams in action. You were poetry in motion. So many individual and group memories, far too many to mention this morning. But after the assembly, I'm hoping that you'll share some of your memories of the things that you remember about being at the prep with us. We want to wish you so much luck for your upcoming Matric exams and for the new journey that each of you is about to undertake in 2022. We were always proud of you. When you were here, you have gone on to do wonderful things, and we know that in the years to come, you will make us even prouder still. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Helen. Jessica Turner, can I hand over to you?
Please could everyone stand so we can sing the school song.
like to thank Mrs. Neely for inviting me to do this and be part of the assembly today. I really was feeling quite very and it's so lovely to see everybody, especially the little ones and all of you members so welcome in the Great North here. And it's my privilege to be blessing over you as the Matrics go out into the world and as the Great Norths go out into the primary school. I'd like you to listen really carefully, Great Norths, because you're going to learn this well by the time you leave Holy Prep. And I hope it brings back many memories of your assemblies, Matrics. Go out into the world. Have courage. Do good. Respect all men. Help the suffering. Support the weak. Return unto no man evil for evil. And now may God bless you and keep